There is definitely a concern on the wheel tire setup I want to run on my Duramax truck. My dad's truck gave me a lot of insight with how it looks. This is a 37-inch tire with a 22-inch wheel, and I just love the way it looks. But the whole goal with this episode is I'm going to take my Denali Duramax and I want to fit the biggest tire I possibly can under the truck, keep it as low as possible, but I also want to make sure that the tire could withhold the towing weight that I'm going to be putting on it. So it's very important on the tire, specific tire I chose. So I'm going to turn around and show you guys the tire, and we're going to kind of talk about it. But for those watching that are into Chevys or GMCs, you're immediately going to say there's no way you're going to make that work. So you could obviously see how massive this tire is. Dad, tell me what your thoughts are.
Well, me and my history, I always start with the tire size that I want. And Brad wants obviously the biggest tire with the most load rating, which is 3,400 pounds. So the only thing that we have to do now is figure out how we're going to get the front end of this truck up, because this tire is so much wider that you can see when you turn, we're going to try not to have to cut too much of this. And same thing on the back. So what we're going to have to do is position that center of that wheel, and we're going to, we're going to want it not too far out so it looks like a skateboard, but we're going to probably want at least 0 offset, which is right in the center, or in a little bit. We might have to keep jogging it in a little bit so we don't hit nothing. But at the same time, Brad likes that, kind of like that pit bull look on his truck. Lo and behold, and a big old beefy tire.
I love this look. Look at how beefy it looks. Long story short, for those of you that don't know offset and things like that are, it is how far your wheel and tire is going to stick outside your truck. And we're going to go show you that, because we're going to go to a place called Rimzone, check out all the wheels and tires here shortly, and figure out what we're going to run. But the thing is, my dad said we're going to try not to cut, but I think we're going to have to cut a lot. So it's going to involve sawzalls. It's going to involve cut off wheels. We're going to have to cut a lot, I think. Also, this is a BF Goodrich KM3. It is a 1350 wide tire, so you can see how just wide this is compared to my hand. And I know people's ran 37s, but usually they're 1250s. And this is a big tire. It's big. It says 1350. I ran a tape across here. It measures almost 14 inches. All right, so we're at Rimzone. This place has a huge selection of wheels. Let's throw some 26s on the truck, huh? Oh my gosh, those actually are bigger.
No, we're not putting those on the truck.
This is just the wheels that they have on the shelf. I mean, there's obviously thousands of wheels, but it's kind of cool to be able to come to a place like this. And once we figure out if the offset, the most important part right now is figuring out the offset to make sure with the tires we got that it's going to actually work on the truck. Already called in to let them know what offset and everything we need, so they have them in the back. So we're going to drive back there, mount on the tires, and then go straight to the barn, do a fitment check, and if we figure out everything fits, then we're going to come back here and determine exactly what wheel we're going to get. So here's the 2 mock-ups that he had, 2 different wheel brands. Again, we don't know exactly what wheel we're going to go with, but these are what he could get super quick with the offset we need.
Well, one of these offsets is going to work.
We're hoping one of these offsets are going to work. All right, well, that's a big that's big.
It looks good.
It looks good.
I like the way it looks.
All right, so we got that wheel, man. That's a big wheel and tire combination.
Big tire, but it looks good. It needs it.
There and there, he's all, hey, how big of a lift are you doing? I said, it's just leveled. He's all, oh. I went with Cognito Motorsports on the leveling kit because it's very important to me. One, Justin that owns the company is an off-road guy, so he understands how suspension works and how it works properly, because there's a lot of companies that make lift kits and different suspension components that actually do it the wrong way. And what's cool about the Cognito leveling kit, which that's what I have right here, is it has a new upper A-arm. Not only does it look incredible, but it serves a purpose. It has a different ball joint that allows more angle. The shocks, we're running all Fox shocks, and Justin designed this to actually have a longer shock. And the other thing it has is torsion keys. Now the Duramax, the front suspension is on a torsion bar setup. That means it's off of pressure on how it works, and the shocks as just the nice ride. Well, the torsion keys that Justin makes with this kit reclocks the torsion bars, and with having more suspension travel, that's how we're able to get 3 more inches of ride height out of the truck and still remain having a really nice ride. The steering setup, which I'll talk more about when we're actually installing it, this is very crucial for this truck. I feel every single GMC Duramax or Chevrolet Duramax should have this kit, and I'll explain when we're throwing all that together. Oh yeah, that's a huge difference. That tire is way bigger.
That looks so much better.
Wow. Well, let's get off that old tire, the wheel and tire, and let's throw this one on and just kind of see if it'll even turn as the truck sits. And plus I'm excited to get it on there and look at it. And then we'll throw on all the Cognito leveling kit and everything like that.
Oh yeah.
Does it look better?
Oh, that zero offset's gonna be perfect.
That's a big wheel.
It looks good though.
Coming down, coming down. Ooh man, that's gonna be tight on the turn. That's a lot of trim.
We'll get in and bounce it back and forth.
Dude, hold on, I gotta get the full effect. Oh, I like that.
Yeah, it's actually not that big. I mean, it's bigger.
Oh, I think it sticks out a perfect amount.
Yeah. Okay. So go.
Oh!
So we're gonna have to trim there. That's gonna be some.
Man, I just love the look. I love the look with the 22-inch wheel. That looks sick. And again, this isn't our wheel we're staying with.
But let's bring it up 3 inches, because that's how high the kit is. Let's bring it up 3 inches and see how much we're gonna have to trim, because right now it's not that much. It looks like we're gonna have to take off this little corner right here, but nobody would see it.
Yeah.
It's like going to the barber.
Little haircut.
Yeah.
Just a little haircut.
Gotta give a little trim.
Man, that looks so good. We're gonna throw on the Cognito kit here in a minute, but we're just trying to get an idea. We're gonna lift it up about 3 inches because that's what the Cognito kit's gonna do. And then let's see where we're sitting. All right, turn it. We barely have to trim it. Yeah, let me see where that sits. Clear by about an inch.
Is trim enough on that so when we go in the driveway and when you're nosing down and you're going in with your wheels turned.
I'll have to trim a little here. Minimum. All right, boys. I read about half the directions and I think I'm all dialed in. I usually don't even read that far, but I got to do one little cut. Here's where the factory arm, you can see it's bottomed out on it now. So we got to just cut a little bit of this off to allow the suspension to come down farther. This is like the hardest part about the kit, which is very simple. We obviously have a few tools to do it, which makes it nice, but even if you had to do this at home, all you need is a sawzall. Actually, you could do everything with a sawzall if you really wanted to. Perfect. So you gotta imagine that's really a minor cut. Anyone could do this in their garage at home, but you gotta imagine when we lift the truck right now, we're actually adding suspension travel to the truck, so that the shocks and everything are a little bit longer. And Cognito's new A-arm, not only is it stronger, but this ball joint has a lot more articulation because we're lowering the suspension, so this upper A-arm is going to be more angled, and the factory wouldn't angle enough, so this would be binding. And with that, this is going to last much longer. So the longevity of this is probably 50 times what a factory would be. You can see how much nicer it is as well. But this is 20 times stronger than that factory cast. So let's throw that in there. I still got to clean this. Let me clean it, paint everything so nothing rusts. And then we'll get that bad boy in. That wasn't too bad, huh? All right, we got the torque wrench set at 90 foot-pounds. You always want to torque bolts to make sure everything is to the exact specs. So here's that piece we cut out. Right now, as it sits, the factory, this is as far down as the wheel would go from factory. Go ahead, lift it, Dad. So you see if that was in there, it would have done already hit. As my dad lifts it, you see it would have went through that little, this is kind of like a little stop pad for the droop. So with that, now we just gained our down travel. So let's go through, and I'm gonna change all the tie rods. I'm gonna show you all the steering right now, but the steering is the next most important thing on this whole truck. So we're gonna move on to the steering. I got the tie rod off right now. When this thing got in the crash or whatever happened to it before we changed the frame, it busted the steering box, broke all the gears in it. So the next thing I just wanted to replace every steering component on this thing to make sure it's 100% safe for the family. So these are the factory tie rods, and this center link is also factory. What I don't like about this center link is you could tell it's just kind of pressed together, and I actually think that it's been pulled out a little bit right here. So with Cognito's whole steering setup, I wanted to show you guys, these are the new tie rods. So they're way more beefy. And the other cool part is when we need to make a change, as you spin this, you have a reverse and a non-reverse, and you could just lengthen the tie rod. So these are just way stronger. This is the center link. It weighs, I mean, it's heavy. So this is like beefy stuff. So look at the difference just in the factory versus Cognito's. This is the factory tie rod and center link. You can see it's the factory's like crimped together or something. I don't even know what it is.
It's like a freaking Cognito guitar. Come on!
This one is a solid bar. Like it's got some weight to it.
Yeah, there's not even a comparison.
This
one's pressed together. I mean, look at it. It looks like it's already coming apart.
And the tie rods. And then we got the Pitman and idler arm support. That is important because when you introduce ride height to the truck, so when we lift the front of the truck up from where it used to be from factory, you add angle on the tie rods because the tire is actually further down. And what happens is when you add angle like that, it's constantly pushing up because now the tie rod's like this, and it pushes up on the center link, wearing out the idler and Pitman arm. And so with the support, we'll show you when we throw it on, but basically it's double shearing the center link. That way it doesn't have any more flex, and it saves all the parts. So with everything that we have here, it's pretty important that we did all these upgrades, especially on the tie rods, like these little tie rods.
Yeah, it's hard to find someone that actually is an engineer that knows how parts work, especially a guy, Cognito with the off-road experience like you were saying before. I mean, you can't even compare this to factory.
We got the Pitman arm side on. So this is Cognito's support bracket. You can see it's double shearing the center link, and that is connected to the tie rod. So you can see how much strength that adds to the bottom side of this. That way it's not trying to twist the actual center link. The idler arm doesn't have it on it yet. So Cognito's kit's gonna come down here and it's gonna capture this side as well. So it's really supporting this bar so it's not wearing out the pitman and idler arm going this way. I know it's kind of like, it's hard to explain without showing you guys, but basically if you're double shearing things so they're not moving, it makes it stronger. And it's very important that if you lift your truck, especially these GMC and Chevys, you want to make sure and get Cognito's kit because it really strengthens that part of it. This was so simple to put on. All the Fox shocks are on too. I'm excited to see what this thing rides like. I know it's going to be night and day. We know that this wheel offset size, everything works. It looks pretty awesome. It's crazy. It looks so much bigger off the truck. Don't you think?
Oh, yeah. I mean, I knew it was going to fit from the beginning. You were going to have to do a little bit of trimming, but I'm most impressed with this Cognito kit. Seriously, it's nice to put something on that
actually works and functions.
Oh, and it goes on simple.
Not only that, I mean, we're so used to off-road, so like suspension geometry is very critical, and you could just tell. I mean, just the way that this was designed, everything is perfect and built to built to be perfect. So I really want to ask you guys, out of these 5 wheels, which one do you guys like the best? This is wheel 1. This is wheel 2. This is wheel 3. Wheel 4. And finally wheel 5. I thought we were gonna go back to Rimzone and show you guys our wheel selection and the exact wheel we're getting, but while we were doing the kit, I made a call into American Force. They make some of the nicest wheels on the planet, like $10,000 wheels. Like they're incredible. And I asked them, I said, would there be any way I could come tour the facility and actually watch whatever wheel I choose be machined right in front of us. So on the next episode, we're going to South Carolina and we're gonna watch the wheels be made for this truck right here in person. So I'm gonna show you guys the whole process. That's gonna be the next episode. So I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Have a blessed day on the next one. I can't wait because it's gonna be fun being at a different shop. It's gonna be fun seeing all these crazy CNCs working. And the other cool part is the wheels are gonna start from a solid chunk of aluminum, and then they're gonna be machined out into this beautiful masterpiece. Later, guys.